Yes, I know I don't love me like you do. I said I don't love me like you do. Yes.
Hello, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel for my new people. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, comment, turn on your post notifications, tell your best friend to watch, tell Kiki them to watch, and Ray them to watch too. But yes, we're about to get into another chatting with Coco. So the submissions that I have today, I'm going to also say, if you are easily offended, please do not watch. If you are a intense feminist, please do not watch. If you are too sensitive, please don't watch, because the topics, the questions are I guess they can offend people with my answer or whatever. But yes, so we're gonna gotta get into it. Y'all know I got my handy dandy notepad, sweetheart. I don't go anywhere without it, honey. I'm always documenting, okay? So the two questions are, why do women continue to give men chances over and over again and don't even wait to see any changes? And the second question is, why do non-domesticated women have children only to not take care of them? So what y'all want to hear first? Like, y'all could answer me. What's wrong with me? I don't know. So I'm going to go with, why do women continue to give men chances over and over again and don't even wait to see any changes? So, what in the hell? Oh, okay. So I believe that happens for a number of reasons. There are a number of possibilities here. I believe that from my own personal experience, I think that as women, some women, try to be politically correct, but some women, we get to a point of not wanting to start over. So even if we don't see any changes, we'll convince ourselves that the potential that we saw in you is enough. So yeah, that's pretty sad to say out loud, but I think that that's one of the reasons, is that we hold on to the potential that we believe that we saw, even if the person isn't ready to live up to that potential, or even if that just was some potential that we put in our mind of being there because we wanted this person so bad and we wanted this to work out for so bad. I know that some people get into the mindset of, this is going to be my last relationship by any means necessary. Who wants to start over? I don't want to go through the whole dating process again. The dating scene is brutal. This is the best that I'm gonna get. We'll even settle for things that we know that we don't deserve. We'll tolerate way more than what we should. We'll deal with people even though we know that we can get better, just because we're already comfortable with this person. So I believe that those are probably the more common reasons. Other reasons, sometimes people end up getting pregnant so that they have a child, and so they'll convince themselves that I'm staying for the child, even though you'll do the child better justice by not being in a toxic situation or a situation that's dead end. Why else do women continue to give men chances over and over again and don't wait to see the changes? I think also you don't wait to see the changes because it's almost like when you pray and you pray for an answer and the answer is not what you wanted to hear, so we'll turn a deaf ear to it. So I think that it's the same thing with waiting on changes. Like, you proclaim that there are going to be all of these great changes and he'll give you all these empty promises that he knows he doesn't really have to fulfill, or she knows she doesn't really have to fulfill, or whatever the case is. And then when it doesn't work out, or when the person continues to display the same behaviors that got you guys there in the first place, you ignore it, because it'll be like, God, give me a sign, give me a sign. And then the sign is to do the opposite of what your heart desires. And so now you can't read. So I didn't have to say it like that. I apologize. But I mean, I've been there. I've been there too. So I feel like I can say that, because I've been there where it was a situation where I knew me and the guy was not going to work out. I knew I knew it like I knew my first, middle, and last name. I knew that it was not going to work out. But because I was so determined to be here, and because I felt like I had committed so much and had given so much of me to him and to the situation and to this relationship, like, you owed me a happy ending. So I believe that that's why we get to a point of, like, especially women who love hard, women who love with every fiber of their being, and it consumes them and they become engulfed in this person. And I don't know, like, you get lost in a sense, like you lose you in love. Like, love is a entity, a being, and you lose yourself in that. So by the time you realize that I have become so lost in this man and so lost in this relationship and so lost in this desire of a fantasy that I have created in my mind, or that I've allowed him to plant these seeds in my mind, you've already decided that you weren't going anywhere. So it didn't matter what he was doing. It didn't matter how much of it he was doing. It didn't matter if he didn't really change, because you were committed to the process. Even if you knew the process wasn't going nowhere, you were committed to the outcome that you foresaw up here. It's almost like being delusional, to be honest. Like, and I'm not saying that women are just delusional and we just so hard up on love and all this other stuff, but I am saying that from experience, I can say that we will see potential in a man that may not even be there, or maybe it is there, but if he's not ready to tap into that, we'll still wait, because we trust what we saw. We trust the process, no matter what he does. Like, I don't know, no matter what he does, because you get sprung off of love and you get addicted to it. It's an addiction almost. Like, you go from like spending a little bit of time together, talking a little bit, to spending every single day together, or spending the vast majority of your free time together, and you're planning the future with this person, and your whole life is planned around this relationship and this man and all of these things. So how are you going to allow, how am I going to sit and allow a little hiccup, a little bump in the road to deter my entire rest of my life that I've planned with this man? So I believe that those are the reasons why, like, not wanting to start over, having comfort in this person. You've invested yourself into this person so much to where you feel like you'll be lost. I don't know, like the loss is too great to watch this person leave or to let this person go. And in some situations, the guy's manipulative. Like, a lot of guys will do wrong or will not love you in the way that you require to be loved or that you need to be loved and all that other good jazz. But then when you're ready to leave, they'll be like, leave me. And I knew I was going to mess this up like I mess up everything else. And, oh, I knew you wasn't going to stick by my side, even though I got 2 babies on you. And I did this and I did that. And I cheated. And like, they'll still look at you like, I can't believe you would give up on me. I can't believe it. I can't. Like, I am just taken aback. This whole thing is beyond me. Like, they'll do that. And then, you know, sometimes we cave into that. Like, oh, I'm not going to give up on him. That's my baby. Like, sis, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. But anyway, getting off of that, let's get on our next topic. So the next question is, why do non-domesticated women have children only to not take care of them? The first thing that comes to mind is that probably because you don't have to be domesticated to have sex.
Who said that? Who said that?
I know that's like, dang. But I believe that. Like, you don't have to be domesticated to have sex. The act of sex is something completely separate from the desire of being a parent. It just so happens that that act is what produces the child. So maybe the woman wasn't really being careful with having sex, as most people aren't. Most people believe that you can do the pull-out method, or, oh, I haven't gotten pregnant in all this time, so I'm not going to get pregnant, or whatever the case is. So Yes, simply put, I think it's because sex doesn't necessarily mean that you want to have a baby. And I know that like we're taught that at a young age, like, oh, if you having sex then you want a child. That's not true. That's not true. And I'm pretty sure that like the vast majority of parents know that. Like, yeah, you have people that genuinely waited to marriage or didn't start having kids until they were better off in their life. But let's be honest, I don't know anybody that anytime that they have sex, they're like, yep, I'm about to produce a child today. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm about to conceive right now. Yep. No, I don't know. I don't know anybody like that. So if somebody is telling you like, oh, because you're having sex, you must want a child. No, it's not really true. It's not true at all, actually, because the majority of the sex that you have is recreational. It's not with the ideal of having a child. The child part is like, I don't know. From what I've seen, for most people, that's the woo. We pregnant. How we get there? Like, we don't know. Like, we have played dumb. Like, we don't know. Like, I did the butt around this time, and now here's this beautiful child. But yeah, I think that it's just having sex. It's the enjoyment of sex. It's the pleasure portion. And I think that a lot of times, like, women are not domesticated, maybe because of the way that they grew up, maybe the way that they were raised. And so when a child gets here, even though you can think that this motherly instinct will just kick in, sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes people just really don't have that. Or maybe they were detached from the child the entire pregnancy because maybe they had in their mind, I'm going to get an abortion, but then they waited too late, or I'm going to put my child up for adoption, but then couldn't stomach the idea of actually doing it. I don't know. It's a lot of different ways that it can go, because I actually know someone who carried her child and couldn't go through with the adoption process, but she tried and she tried, but she just was like, it's just not there. Like, I'm just not connecting with this child. And so her family ended up taking care of the baby for her. But I don't know. It's a tricky situation. It's a tricky situation because it's like you can't really put a finger on it because everybody is different. But there are some women who genuinely don't want children. Like, I know that, like, we are technically put here to produce. That's technically our job, to populate the world. I don't know. But, like, there are some women who just don't want that. There are some women who just don't, and it just happens because the way our body is set up, everything about our being is kind of made to be a mom. Like, we're made to conceive. We're made to populate this world. Like, we have the mechanics to do it. So, I don't know. And some people don't like to use birth control or condoms or whatever type of contraceptive. But yeah, that's a good question. But I just feel like it's so many different reasons or so many different ways, and like we would really have to sit down and talk to like a large mass of people in order to even get like a good ratio or a good statistic. But yeah, simply put, I think it's just because sex doesn't necessarily mean that you want a baby. But people have sex. People have sex for pleasure, for whatever type of feelings that they're looking for. Yeah, I think because sex doesn't correlate that I want a child. And some people they just don't want children. They just don't. Like, they don't want children. Or they grew up in a household where the parenting was not good, or there was no parenting, or whatever the case is. Maybe it's even a fear of messing a child up by not being a good parent. But, you know, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Not trying to step on nobody's toes or nothing. But make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys want to talk about next. And also some video ideas. Whatever you guys want to see videos on. Like, I'm gonna have a hair tutorial coming up pretty soon because it's time to do something with this mane, okay? But yes, thank you for tuning in. As always, it is with love.
I don't